please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 scene lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode 190 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Can you believe that is a ridiculous number? Today, if you're listening on the day this episode drops, it's February 26, 2024, and we've got a big show for you today. We're going to have a Landon and Stephers trip recap. We've got theme park news, and we have another Black History Month spotlight to round out today's episode. But before we get into any of that, we've got to welcome in the Monorail co-pilots. Let's start with the one who finally made it back from a Disney trip without germs, at least to this point. We're going to knock on wood. Landon, the Stephers, welcome back. Happy return to the Monorail, and I'm glad you're healthy, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, knock on wood. I'm not going to actually do it because that sounds horrible on audio. But it's me. It's the DOZ back from the House of the Mouse down in Orlando, Florida, coming to you from the isolation station. But I'm not in isolation because I have COVID like I returned with last time, nor do I have pneumonia like I returned with previously. So far, so good.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be back here on the Monorail, relatively healthy. You know, I'm not exactly the picture of health, as it were, despite how I look, and I do look good. But
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for looking good. I'm proud of you for feeling good. You know, I don't know if you saw this past weekend when you left, as you were leaving town, people were getting ready to do the Princess Half Marathon weekend at Walt Disney World.
In fact, that's why I left. I knew there was going to be physical activity involved. I was like, I have got to get out of town.
Well,
several I'm not built for running.
This podcast is not built for running.
No. We're not built for comfort.
No, but several of our Monorail family members are participating in that event this weekend. One of them being our good friend Nate, formerly of DVC Duo, and he's been tweeting out his experience. But Nate had a very unfortunate autocorrect on one of his tweets prior to his run, and he said, "Going to lick the runners this morning." So.
Is that what y'all do at these Disney runs?
So
maybe I should have stuck around for that. That sounds fun.
So if that's what goes on during Run Disney events, first of all, I'm in. I'll be there next time.
Yeah.
But second of all, if Nate followed through on that, I would say he'll be coming home with all the germs. So
yeah, that is not very hygienic at all. But good on you, Nate. Go lick them runners.
Yeah. And by the way, congratulations to all our runners. We love to support you from afar. Mm-hmm. And someone else that I love to support from afar is our third Monorail co-pilot of the day, and that is Stephers. Stephers, you have a confused look on your face. Welcome to the Monorail.
Hello. I mean, I know that I'm a little far, but like you can support me from never mind, forget
nearby.
It. Anyway.
I could, but you're not here. So I love wherever you are, Stephers. Titanique.
Thanks.
Are you feeling as good as Landon? Fresh off a trip without any germs?
Did I go on? I haven't gone. I came back from my trip like 3 weeks ago, so no. But I'm about to go on another trip, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm fresh. I have an Alani in me, but like it hasn't kicked in yet. So
I just wanted to.
We're trying out here.
I'm trying to emphasize that we're germ free this episode. Last week I was, just finishing up my bout with COVID. Finally, I think everybody in the house now is testing negative. So we've gotten the COVID out the house. Landon's feeling good. You're feeling good. It's a great day to start a Disney and Universal podcast.
Yeah.
But still, wash your hands.
And SeaWorld. You forgot SeaWorld. I don't know why you're excluding SeaWorld.
Yeah, we're the official podcast of SeaWorld, remember?
I should say it now, SeaWorld. Now, we've all three said it today. Check it off. If you've got a...
Does it work like Beetlejuice? Now that we've said it 3 times, is Shamu going to pop up
You're in the splash zone, my friend.
I live life in the splash zone, baby.
Oh, I think I've got another T-shirt idea.
Oh no.
So this is the week that Flower and Garden actually kicks off. And speaking on T-shirt ideas, I just want to give a shout out to our good friend Lee from over in the UK. He took our idea of really trying to lean into the Flogar branding for the Flower and Garden Festival, and he created a design for a T-shirt that he shared with me this Friday. And it's great. It looks wonderful. I will put it up on the Monday Morning Monorail TeePublic store. So if you're interested in snagging the Flogar T-shirt, but if you want a sneak peek of what it looks like, it's on the Facebook page. It's the Monday Morning Monorail Fam Facebook page. It's there. And I also put it on the Morning Monorail Instagram. But thanks to Lee with his expert, I guess, editing design skills, he did great. It looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does look good, though. The first time I tried to read it, I felt like I was having a stroke.
Yeah, it does make you sort of feel that way. Yeah.
The shirt's a real thinker. That's what I'm trying to say.
It is.
Like, don't think too much, but enough,
It almost looks like one of those things that like you would see on Facebook where somebody goes, if you can read this, you're not colorblind or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a real visual mental test. But that's good.
Yeah.
It helps keep you sharp. But when I posted it, Paul responded and he said, the official festival greeting for the Monorail family, a festive Flogar to you. And then the other responds, and a joyous Worden to you as well. So
honestly, though,
I really think we should start doing that. And I'm sorry I didn't even kick off the show that way. We'll start it next week.
Yeah, let's take it from the top.
Yeah, start over. We've had our fun. No, but that's really fun. So thank you. First of all, thanks again to Lee for designing that, but also thanks to all of you all that are in the Facebook group or the Discord or wherever you may be interacting with us. We have a good time, and I encourage you to be part of that if you're not already. So speaking of getting home after a trip and coming home without germs, Landon, I really wanted to give some time today to recap your trip. You did a little time at Universal. I know not much, but you dipped in over there and did some Mardi Gras and spent a lot of time over at Disney. So, anything you wanted to share? What did you bring back? Thoughts, highlights? What have you got?
Fun.
It was fine. Oh, okay. Oh, good. Moving on.
Yeah, I was able to spend a little bit of time at both Disney and Universal. Only did one day at Universal, and it was in studios only. Didn't pay for the park hopper option to ride the dope ass Harry Potter train. Just because we were there for Mardi Gras and the eats and drinks that happen during Mardi Gras, and to participate in the parade. Well, not participate, to watch the parade, I should say. Caught a lot of beads. Didn't get hit in the eye this year by beads. I wore sunglasses just in case. So, heads up on that one. Bring eye gear when you go to watch Mardi Gras. But that parade is just super, super awesome. And it's something that's included in your price of admission to Hollywood Studio. Wait.
Nope.
To Universal Studios. Yeah, my bad. Almost caught that one. But yeah, very peoply at both Universal and Disney. I do realize it was on the President's Day weekend, so a lot of people spent the long weekend down in the House of the Mouse and in Universal, apparently. But man, a lot of people, and that really impacted the amount of attractions, or the lack of attractions, more accurately, that myself and the Smokin' Hot Girlfriend were able to, participate in while we were down there. But it was a lot of fun. If you do have the option to go to Mardi Gras, highly suggest you do so. Again, the parade is incredible. The floats that they put together, the costumes that the cast members, the team members wear and dance and interact with the crowd was just top notch. Like it was last year, but especially this year, so cool. They'll get right up on the side of the street and talk to you, and if you're dancing and singing along to the song, they'll encourage you. It's almost like you're a part of the show. It is so dang cool. And then over at Disney, I was able to do a lot of first times. First time I went to Topolino, and that is a pricier place. I will admit that out of the gate. I spent way more money than I wanted to there, but the experience I had was phenomenal. Was able to snag a 9:05 reservation.
Oh,
and when I got that,
that's like a late dinner.
Why in the hell am I eating this late? But it ended up working out perfectly. The first time ever going to Topolino, we were way underdressed and we are getting side eye from pretty much everybody in that restaurant. It was great. But the person who seated us at our table said, "So are you going to watch the fireworks?" And we're like, "Fireworks? What, like you break out sparklers and then do a show for us?" It's like, no, we got there just in time to experience Harmonious, because I guess it completely had slipped my mind. You can see the Epcot nighttime show from Topolino, and not only was our table the perfect spot to watch the show, if you want to go out on their, I guess, terrace, their patio, it's synced up so you can hear the show as well. And I mean, that is just an incredible view, and it was an incredible experience. We got seated just in time. We were able to get our glass of wine poured. We took it out on the terrace and we watched Harmonious. You can see the water projections from the terrace there on Topolino. I'm trying to figure out how many times I can say terrace.
I also want to know, do you mean terrace?
Yeah, that too. I realized after I said it the third time.
And I think, by the way, just really quick, unless you were looking into the past, you're watching Luminous also, not Harmonious.
This is
It's
going
okay,
really
Landon.
This is going really, really well.
You're doing great.
Dude, I screw up
Apparently,
constantly.
I didn't bring back COVID, but I brought back brain. That's great. Dang it. I think that's what happened. I drank the water when I was down there.
That'll do it.
Don't drink the water when you're in
no.
Orlando.
Yeah,
You will
don't
get
drink the
brain
water.
water. But regardless of what nighttime show I was watching, it was great. And Topolino is now a must-do experience, at least in my opinion. When me and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend are down there, I actually have another Disney trip coming up at the beginning of April. I'm taking the Lotus back there, or more accurately, she's taking me down there for my birthday. Beginning of April, and that is a reservation I made specifically for her because I think she will enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Also, with that 9:05 reservation time, because she's a firework honk, as I've said on previous podcasts. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of people. But I mean, that kind of comes with the territory. Whenever you go down to Orlando, Florida, and you go to the parks, you're going to be dealing with people. But yeah, had a lot of fun. I'm tired. I'm broke. And I go back to work tomorrow.
And you caught a brain-eating amoeba. No, but
don't drink the water.
But did you get to see? So you saw Luminous from Topolino, the top of the Riviera Resort. Did you get to see it from Epcot, or was that your only viewing of Luminous?
That was our only viewing of Luminous. We spent 2 days in Epcot, and our first night in Epcot, we were in the parks right when the nighttime show started, but we made the decision to kind of stay ahead of the crowd and get out before the fireworks ended, because we didn't want to be caught up in that, because that was one of the things that we commented on when we saw it at Topolino. It was like, man, that was really cool. We got to watch the nighttime show. And we don't have to leave in that crowd, because as people-y as Epcot was, particularly on that night when we were there, when the show started, we would probably still be trying to get out of Epcot.
Yeah.
if we waited for the show to be over. But yeah, I thought the story that they tell with the fireworks and the water projections that we were able to see from Topolino.
That's cool.
I want to point that out again. I was very surprised that we were able to see that. And another cool part, from where we were seated inside the restaurant, we were still able to look out on the World Showcase, and we were able to see the torches around the world stay lit for it must have been we were there till 11, and the torches were still going. I thought that was a very cool thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a beautiful view up there. Steffers, have you ever gone up to the Topolino Terrace?
We've eaten at, I'm trying to think. I think the very first time we ate there, we went out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a thing we go, that's a staple place for us to eat because we love the Riviera. But But I think we've only been out on the terrace like once.
It's just the view is amazing. Like
I believe it's pronounced Terrence.
Well, it's Terrence now.
Yeah, you're standing on a dude named Terrence. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. So I had luck going up to Topolino and sitting at the bar, and when I did that, I actually got the last seat, like on the far end of the bar, right by the window. So when the fireworks happened from Epcot, I was able to see them from there. It was really cool. That's my only firework experience from Topolino, but that was cool as it was. Highly recommend. So
food and drinks there is really, really great too. Like I said, a pricier spot to dine on in the Walt Disney World resort, but I think it's well worth the money.
So I know you exited Epcot without watching the fireworks, but did you get to experience the World Celebration Gardens at night and see it all lit up?
When we were walking past it, yes.
Okay.
Again, we were trying to stay ahead of that crowd.
Yeah. It's nice.
Hold on. You went to Epcot twice?
Yeah. We went on, let me look at a calendar. We went on the 19th and the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Like full day, or was this like a split situation?
It was a split situation. We got there on the 19th, right ahead of our Le Cellier lunch reservation for our anniversary. And spoiler alert, Le Cellier was kind of this year. And then we got there about noon-ish on the 20th as well. Also, did another first time. We ate at the Beer Garden on the 20th. Never been there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that place.
That's my favorite place. Okay, but hold on. Let me rethink that. Yeah, no, that's my favorite place set up. I wanted to make sure that that was an accuracy. Man, that's like a staple for us to go to. When we go to Epcot.
Well, and
expensive.
Again, there's a reason I said I'm broke coming back from this trip, but it's funny you say it's a staple for you. Because going forward, me and Lindsay, who that's her, working, her actual name, smoking hot girlfriend.
Working name?
Yeah, there had to be a better way for me to phrase it. Things, again,
she's a working woman,
Stephers.
Stephers.
Drink the water in Orlando. This is what happens. But that's going to be a staple for us going forward on trips to Epcot because she had such a fun experience there. The food's great. We had no idea that a band was going to play. I was in line for food, scared the hell out of me when it started to play because my back was to the stage, and all of a sudden the music just starts. I'm like, holy, what was that?
You should bring Smoking Hot Girlfriend's daughter. I think she'd have a great time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very interactive, it's like a whole, they encourage kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it would be a fun time. Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
Please don't. That's bad for a podcast.
It really
also
is.
True.
Yeah. So, no, that's awesome. Landon, I wanted to ask you one more thing. So about your experience at Mardi Gras, was there any drink or food item that stood out to you that you tried?
There is one food item that stood out to me, but not necessarily in the way I was hoping.
No.
Yeah. Last year it was just a shrimp boil, and this year they upgraded it to the crawfish and shrimp boil. And when I think of the food items from this year's Mardi Gras, when they give you crawfish, they give you the whole damn crawfish. So it's
you gotta crack it.
The eyes are staring back at you as you're eating. It creeped me out. I couldn't eat it. So, it was staring into my soul.
That's not where I thought you were going with that. I thought you were about to say I didn't know how to open or eat it, or
there was
not that it was staring
too.
You in the face.
Yeah.
There was that too. There was a lot going on with me and the crawfish. It creeped me out, if I'm being completely honest. So that is the one food item that stuck out to me.
So now it's interesting. Typically, I think in the years past they've had the combo, but you could get the shrimp separately. Because I've gotten it the last 3 years. I've gotten the shrimp and crawfish boil. So I don't know. Maybe they took the individual shrimp one off the list or something, but.
I will say, when I went up to the booth, and that was another thing. We were kind of confused about the layout of the booth. We didn't realize around the stage and the Jimmy Fallon area, that is the major cluster of where a lot of the booths are. We walked the entirety of Universal Studios before we broke out the map. It's where the hell are these? Because it's we found 4 booths. in the rest of the park, but it's like, oh yeah, there's like 10 in this one area.
There's a bunch.
So that was another thing that stood out to me, but I could be remembering wrong. Remember, brainworms. I don't remember seeing just the shrimp boil option, because last year we got just the shrimp boil option, and that was killer. That was the one thing that I definitely wanted to have again this year. And when they gave me the crawfish and with its dead little eyes staring back at me and me not knowing how to get into its armor.
But would it make you feel better if it was not dead?
Well, I was half convinced it was going to spring to life and attack back if I tried to eat it. That was another reason why I was like, nope, not going to do that.
That's so funny.
That cracks me up. You crack me up.
Well, they do.
Eating with me is an experience, guys.
They do look creepy. I'll give you that. But they taste pretty good. It's a lot of work for a crawfish to get that meat, though. Well, I'm sorry that you had that experience. You missed out on some pretty good stuff if you didn't find like the Germany booth. The Germany booth was. I didn't have the chicken schnitzel. I had, what was the other thing? Currywurst.
Yeah, the currywurst with the spicy ketchup.
Yeah,
I really dug that. That was good.
Yeah.
I did want to try the chicken though, because dang, that spicy mustard sounded really good.
Yeah, they're both good options. Yesterday, Bob and I tried the burger from the Columbia booth, and it was good. That was a new one for me. I guess I've been pretty lucky. Like the stuff that I've picked from the Mardi Gras Fest this year has all been pretty good. There hasn't been anything I have been disappointed with.
Nothing that haunts your nightmares.
Nothing that haunts my nightmares, but I haven't had my crawfish this year. I'm going to have to.
There you go. There's still time, Jay.
I know.
Crawfish is like riding a bike.
Where are you going with this?
The first time you eat it, it's very intimidating to like peel and eat or whatever, however you want to consider eating that.
Crack it.
But then, like, second and third time, once you get the pedals going and you're riding, like, it's no problem. You won't worry about the ice staring at you anymore.
Okay, she kind of stuck the landing on that one. I'll give it to her.
Okay, in my brain it made sense. Okay, like I was just thinking about like if I had crawfish today, like would I remember how to eat it? And like I think I would once it's in front of me, but like that's complicated. That's not complicated. It's just different.
I will say the rest of the food with the crawfish boil was very good. Like the seasoning they use on like the potatoes and the corn and the top-notch stuff. Very good. But I could do without the whole, I am looking into your soul, Landon, crawfish thing we had going on.
Who doesn't love Old Bay? I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Old Bay.
That is true. I mean, it's called Bay. Mm-hmm.
So Landon, you might be right. I mean, this year, I just like quickly going through. They've got a shrimp gumbo by itself, but the boil looks like it's just the combo shrimp and crawfish. I don't think that's how it was last year. I think it was you get them separate.
It most definitely wasn't that way last year because I would have remembered little creepy sea bugs staring at us.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's unfortunate, but I'm glad you survived it and you lived.
And I got a fun story out of it.
You lived to tell the tale.
Sorry, tail. Never mind.
Crawfish tail.
Sorry. I'll see myself out already.
She'll be here all week.
You're doing good. Yeah, you nailed that analogy.
Killing it today. Yeah. I'm really killing it today. It's all right. I'm doing great.
All right. Well, Landon, I am excited that you had some fun first and you had some good times with the Smoking Hot Girlfriend on this trip. And it's nice. You've already got a trip to look forward to, a comeback trip. So, you got that to look forward. That's the toughest thing. I think like when you come back from a Disney trip, you got the Disney blues, but if you can look at the calendar and be like, yeah, but I'm going back at this time, it's not so bad.
Yeah, and that definitely did help. I mean, packing up the night before we flew out, it's like you definitely do feel the sadness. You have to go back to the real world. Oh, fun fact, I found out the Smoking Hot Girlfriend hates it when I use that term. So much like Stephers, I'm doing really well this episode. But knowing that I did have that return trip in April definitely did help. And I get to stay at the Coronado Springs when I go back, or as I've been known to call it, the Colorado Springs. So,
I think we need like a dictionary of Landonisms. And that way we could post it for people.
T-shirt idea. I'm just saying.
People could do their own translation as they listen to the podcast. So like, what did he say, Terrence?
Like,
that means.
What did he just say? Oh, okay. I'm following along. This guy's an idiot. No. He's speaking his own language. Let him cook, is the kid.
Oh, wait. I do have one question. So there was a day you were in the Discord and you asked people to throw out suggestions for a quick service at a resort. Where did you end up eating that day? Do you remember? Because I know people gave you some ideas. Steakhouse 71 was thrown out there.
We did end up going to Steakhouse 71. We were going to go to the Mexican restaurant you suggested at what was it, Swan Reserve?
It's at the Dolphin. Yeah.
Yeah, Dolphin. But we were right up against that 2 p.m. lunch cutoff that apparently everything on Disney property has. We found out, but we ended up going to Steakhouse 71.
Nice. That's always a good choice.
Like Steakhouse 71.
Yeah. All right. Well, now as we move on from the trip recap, it's time to look forward. And to do that, we're going to look at the headlines from around the Central Florida theme parks. Let's jump into the news. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have news to review this week, but it's not nothing too crazy. This is all kind of minor stuff. It's a slow news cycle week for episode 190 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. But I do want to just share a couple things. Number one, this is from blogmickey.com. Disney has filed permits for demolition at the former NBA experience in Disney Springs.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, sad ending to a short-lived attraction. I'll raise my hand right now and say I'd never set foot in the NBA experience. I will say I wanted to. I at least wanted to check it out, and I never did. I don't think I'd be going out on a limb to say probably nobody on this podcast went into the NBA experience. Is that true? So
yeah, that would you can count my hand among those that didn't go there on this podcast as well. This was just a head-scratching inclusion on the Disney property. I understand that the NBA has its fans, but it's like, really? We're going to dedicate this much real estate in Disney Springs to the NBA experience? And it was only open for a little more than 200 days before COVID-19. And I realized it was a shortly lived thing, but until we were talking about this for news purposes, I didn't realize A, how shortly lived this was, and B, I thought they already tore this thing down.
It's been shuttered for a long time. Yeah,
it has. Yeah. And I know this was impacted by COVID. If this wasn't impacted by COVID, do y'all think this would have made it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it was open.
Space is cursed.
It could be. It could be
cursed.
Just
okay.
That space is cursed. Yeah. I mean, it was open. It had 200 days before it was shut down by COVID. And I don't think that I ever heard from anyone that this was like a must do experience. You know, when they brought it back, they used that space for a VR Star Wars thing for a little while.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just, I don't know. It's funny how sometimes there are these locations, whether it be in like a strip mall or just a particular street corner, that just no matter what you put there, it doesn't do well. You would think though that this location would get a lot of foot traffic. I mean, everything in Disney Springs gets a lot of foot traffic, but clearly not enough to draw people in and keep it afloat. But any thoughts or ideas or wishes for what they might put in this spot?
Disney Quest.
Disney Quest 2.0.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, I kind of like that idea. I liked Disney Quest. It was the perfect thing for like I know Stephers might roll her eyes rather. She has two of them. Again, brainworms. It was the perfect thing to do on that rainy day that you're inevitably going to run into when you're down on a Disney trip. I mean, like we had 2 days pretty much rained out when we were down on our trip just last week. And man, it would have been so awesome to have somewhere like Disney Quest to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, sponsored by Apple Vision Pro,
right?
Whatever it's called.
And I mean,
it could happen.
Disney just hopped into bed with Epic for the tune of $1.5 billion. So, I mean, you have the perfect partner if you wanted to give it another shot again. Now, we do know Disney and video games track records have been kind of hit and miss, let's just say, in the past. But at the same time, I mean, you do have that spot, and you do have a partner like Epic who is just printing money with Fortnite right now. So, I mean...
Make it the Fortnite experience.
You talk about foot traffic, that would bring in a ton of people.
I think it
you
would.
Actually could do like how they have, what is it called? Like the exhibit. That's not what it's called. What's it called? Where like they show the preview center. It's called the preview center, isn't it?
There you go.
Whatever. They could do like something similar to that, but for Epic Games, and have people try new,
like cutting edge
updates or something. $1 million idea, Disney. I know you're listening.
I think that's cool. Yeah, they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
The nostalgia in my soul is like, bring back the Virgin Megastore. I used to love that place. But does anyone buy CDs anymore? I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going to have to say, Jay, you're going to have to explain to our younger audience, A, what the Virgin Megastore was, and B, what they sold.
Yeah. Physical media, which we don't know. No one knows what that is anymore. But yeah, that was a cool place. I never went to Disney Quest. It existed in a time where I didn't take a lot of Disney trips. And when I did, I guess we just didn't spend a lot of time at former downtown Disney. So I totally missed out on Disney Quest. And I'm sad about that, because hearing people talk about it, it sounds like it was really cool. And I can't believe that it wouldn't be something that would draw people in, because you're right, on bad weather, not just rainy days, but like super extremely hot days where people are like, I just need a break. Let's take the kids and let them run around in an arcade. You know, places like Dave & Buster's are extremely successful. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. Yeah, it's just a puzzle to me.
And I mean, like, I know here in Knoxville there is a spot that's like an e-sports cafe, and it does very well. Like spots like that are popping up all around America. Why couldn't something like that happen at Disney Springs?
Yeah. Ooh, what if they brought back Discovery Zone? Y'all remember DZ, Discovery Zone?
Oh, yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
DZ at Discovery Zone.
Am I old enough to know what that is?
It was just like a, what would you even call it? It was like a big jungle gym inside of a building.
Uh-huh, yep, indoor playground.
Or Qzar, bring back Qzar. We could do that.
So we're just trying to like rebook our childhood.
Yeah.
What's going on with this spot? Okay, all right, neat.
That's all I'm doing.
Back to Ninja Turtles too. Yeah.
Hey, they're back. Mutant Mayhem was fantastic.
I love that movie. That was great. Shredder's Revenge. That's a really good game.
Yeah. We're still living in a good TMNT world.
Turtles are eating good. Last Ronin's getting a sequel.
Oh my God. Hey, speaking of bringing things back, why don't we talk about Soarin' for a second? Whoop, whoop, segue. Soarin' around the world. Thanks. Soarin' around the world is coming back to Epcot, but here's the question that we have to all ask ourselves. Apparently, according to a report from Scott Gustin, it will be the unchanged original Soarin' Around the World when it comes back, meaning that the old layout where the finale of Soarin' is you end up in Epcot and you see the Fountain of Nations and the old future world, as I still call it, because I can't get my brainworms out of my head, is still going to be there. So my only question is, why? Why is it the same? I know that they couldn't do, like, I guess World Celebration isn't done yet, so they couldn't like update it with a actual video flying over the new Epcot, but they could. Half of the Soarin' film is digital anyway, like CGI. So I don't understand. Like, why not just keep it? I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I'm the only one who cares about this.
No, I don't think you're the only one that cares about this. And I think you could ask why about a lot of things about this. Why are they changing it back now? Why did it stay through the start of 2024 when I think a lot of people were expecting it to Soarin' over California to go away at the beginning of the new year? Why are they not giving us an artist rendition of what they think it's going to look like, kind of what you're talking about? They could CGI in a placeholder for the time being, and then when they get the actual honest-to-God concrete new CommuniCore Plaza and CommuniCore Hall and all that fun stuff. Once Epcot construction is finally over, if it ever is, they can then go and shoot the actual thing and give us the new ending. I think there's a lot of why questions to this whole thing. Yeah. But I'm glad Around the World's coming back because I didn't get to experience Soarin' over California when I was down there, but I've heard the reviews and they're not all that great. And there's no smells with Soarin' over California. It's like that's the best part of Soarin' Around the World is the smell.
There are smells. There are smells with Soarin' over California. Yeah. But people were talking about the Orange Grove smell changed. I think it is different, but yeah, there's smells.
Okay. All right. Well, then I was mistold. Again, brainworms. So
here's the thing. Soarin' over California, to me, you can tell that it's an aged film. That's the big thing. The Soarin' Around the World is a much higher quality video. It's interesting though how passionate some people are, like when you talk about one versus the other. Like there are people who are absolutely, I only like Soarin' Around the World in Epcot. And then there's people like me who's like, well, I kind of preferred the California film, but I just wish they would update it. But I don't know. I just timing wise, I don't get it. And then ending wise, I don't get it. But maybe it is just like, hey, let's just bring back Soarin' Around the World because it makes more sense in Epcot, which I get. And then like when we do finish up, finally finish construction, quote unquote, finish construction in Epcot.
Yeah.
Then we'll update the film, I guess. But I don't know.
I mean, it kind of does make more sense in Epcot. If you think about it.
It does. Sure, it does. I just wish that the Eiffel Tower didn't look like the letter C, but
there is that. Yeah, Captain, the Eiffel Tower.
It's fine. The thing, I think I said this at the time, but after I did Soarin' over California again, the thing I was reminded of is you don't have the jump scare transitions between scenes like you do in Soarin' Around the World. And I'll say you kind of miss them because it's like, oh, we just transition from one scene to the other and there's nothing that like indicates scene change. But at least in Soarin' Around the World, you have a hawk flying at your face and then it goes, and then you have a killer whale splash in the water and then the scene changes, so
and then you have an airplane run right at you and you go through the propeller and then at the end Tinkerbell kills you in a big fire explosion over the Epcot ball.
What if they're
what a way to go.
This is sorry, my brain was working like while you guys were going back and forth. What if they're waiting for I don't know what the heck it's called, but like they're waiting for like a whole Epcot overhaul. Mm-hmm. So then they take you not necessarily more into Epcot, but like they show more or show like an evolution-y kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like it's probably a money thing, to be honest. Like they don't have the money. It's not completely done. Like why waste resources when, I do think they could do like, I mean, AI is pretty legitimate nowadays, or not legitimate, but like common nowadays. Yeah. So like I think that they could make it work, but I think that's probably what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're going to I think they're going to want to showcase it more when it's ready.
I guess you're right. I think that's really what it boils down to.
And they're trying to keep California, and East Coast. Yeah. Or world, whatever.
And honestly, they probably didn't think that construction in Epcot was going to be dragging on this long. I do know that the pandemic happened and put a lot of projects on hold at the time and then added on dates and added on to the date once it restarted. But even Disney had to be like, I really thought we would have been done with this stuff by now.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like all the construction on I-4. It's never going to end. And we're just going to everything. It will always be Walcott, in some way, shape, or form, I guess. But the walls keep moving. And actually, speaking of the walls moving, we do have a little more. I'm trying. We do have a little more progress on CommuniCore Hall, as we were talking about that. They're continuing the construction, barreling towards an opening date, which I hope happens right after Flogar, so that I'm correct. I love being right, and that would be fun. But thanks to, again, blogmickey.com, we've got some pictures of what this new mural inside CommuniCore Hall is going to look like with Mickey and friends. And I love it because a lot of it is such a tribute. Cute. It's such a tribute to like old Epcot. And I love that.
Yeah.
It's great. Ugh. You even have Horizons on there. with a robot butler.
TBT.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It looks really, really good. I can't wait for that building to open.
It does look really cool, and the mural they're putting like this is a piece of art that I would love to have in my own house. It looks so dang cool.
Yeah, like actual size too. You could wrap your whole living room in that.
Now screw that. I'm going to put it on the outside. My HOA is going to be furious.
Oh man, but the artwork is cool. It's interesting too because the Mickey and Minnie, it doesn't look like the new design from the Mickey shorts, but it also doesn't really look like old design. It's sort of its own design for the characters, which is cool, but they're in space suits and Goofy's flying a rocket over Spaceship Earth. I mean, I love it. It is really nice. And it would be cool to own, like, maybe I would be shocked if you couldn't get, pieces of this artwork or maybe even the whole thing in some way, shape, or form after the CommuniCore Hall opens. So,
and I think that some iteration of this will show up at future Festival of the Arts.
Yeah. Stephers just had a brainstorm.
Sorry, my brain just blasted, and do you think they'll sell like prints for this mural? Because I would buy.
That's what I'm hoping.
Would buy this.
I would love it if they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about how it's very ode to Epcot.
Yeah.
But when I think Epcot, I don't necessarily think super bright colors, but I like how they incorporated these really bright colors with still the overarching newness of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. My brain, I'm thinking while y'all are spewing things, and I'm like, ooh, this too.
Honestly, the only thing it's really missing from old school Epcot is any representation of Figment. But honestly, it's like this is a Mickey and Friends mural. So I mean, it doesn't necessarily need Figment. But I mean, with all the tips of the cap to previous things that have come in Epcot, I mean, if you're a fan of Epcot, you're gonna dig this mural. It looks really.
You know what it's missing? A nod to, is it IBM?
Oh.
It really just needs a nod to IBM. That's who needs Figment? Just give me a nice little, or even a segue. Just put a little segue on.
A segue. Segue tours.
That would really hit me in the feels, man.
Oh, and anyway,
I don't think this needs Figment though. I think Figment would be too much here.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Well, I think like Landon said, with it being Mickey and Friends, it's just supposed to be the class. Because isn't that going to be the new meet and greet spot for Mickey? And I believe
so.
Yeah.
So I think so.
Figment's got his own
What if they
thing.
put the moon with Eric Idle's face in it? Yeah, no, don't do that.
That would be a choice.
Yeah.
Or they put the moon with Eric Andre's face in it.
Eric Andre.
Yeah, a sign of things to come.
Taking over
Stay tuned.
over Figment.
You heard it here first.
Eric Andre would not be allowed in the Disney parks.
Let me in.
Yeah, cut to that meme. But no, that's cool. I'm just excited. I every piece of progress that we make to getting CommuniCore Hall and CommuniCore Plaza open is exciting.
I mean, the building itself, like we've talked a lot about the mural, but the building itself looks really cool and really unique.
Yeah. It's such a cool tribute to the design of Spaceship Earth. Mm-hmm. I love that they're calling it CommuniCore Hall as a throwback to the, that's what Innoventions was before it was Innoventions. And, just a lot of tips of the cap to where Epcot came from, which is, we love that. We love that sort of thing around here. That's looking into the past, but now we're going to look into the future. And we're going to speculate a little bit as we look at this next article from WDW Magic. Apparently, this was 2 days ago, this article was released. Drones took flight over Disney World, fueling speculation of future nighttime shows. This made me think, this was probably a month or more ago, but did we not have an article in our news rundown where Disney had acquired a local drone company? Do you remember that?
They set up an office in Orlando or in the Central Florida area. Yeah, I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. So it would not be a shock, really, if this is something that gets incorporated at some point into nighttime shows. They're already doing a big drone show over at Disneyland Paris. And if you've seen any videos or pictures of that, it's so cool. It almost looks fake, the things that they do with the drones over there. But, it has happened in the past. You have to go back to 2016. there was a short-lived drone show in Disney Springs for the Christmas time. But it didn't last long. I don't know how long it had it run. I don't know if it was all through the Christmas season, but I know a big thing there was they're very sensitive to the weather, of course, the drones. And if it's too windy or stormy, they can't do it. That to me is really the only thing holding Disney back from incorporating this more into the nighttime shows. But I could absolutely see drones become part of the Luminous show. I think that would be very, very cool to enhance that a little bit more. I think drone shows are cool. I'm a fan, and I'd love to see it. So,
as long as it's not outright replacing fireworks,
yeah.
As long as it's there to enhance the fireworks, because like I talked about how my mom's a firework honk, I am her son, so I too am a firework honk. So as long as they're there to enhance the nighttime shows with the fireworks, I love this edition. Like, if you have the technology, use it. And as a follow-up, it was the drone company Dranosis, I believe it's how it's pronounced. They were set up in France, and then they set up an office in Orlando, Florida. We talked about that about a month and a half.
Very interesting, my friends. There's reasons for it. I haven't seen
the Disneyland Paris drone show.
Mm-hmm.
Like that my brain just broke looking at this. My question is
that's why you got quiet. You were watching the Disneyland Paris show.
Everyone's clicking. You said it didn't look real, so I was like, "What do you mean it doesn't look real?" So then I was clicking through it. My question, I guess, would be how it would have to be a placement thing, right? Like, how do you not catch the drone on fire by shooting off fireworks?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that could be part of the fun. Let's shoot down the drones with fireworks. That would be cool.
I also I started this video. I started this video and I was like, this is giving me Spider-Man and I'm scared. I went down a whole rabbit hole. Like, I agree with Landon. Like, I very much would want this to, enhance a fireworks show. Just logistically, I'm like, how would you do that? And not either. How would you do that? Like, would it be two separate shows, or is there a way they actually could keep the drones and light things on fire at the same time? I don't know.
They could. It could be two separate things. Yeah, they could time it, like space it out. Like, you've got a little drone thing happening, maybe post fireworks, or maybe they go back to having some sort of a nighttime drone show at Disney Springs. I mean, and maybe true. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. I don't know. That's where they're testing it right now, was at Disney Springs. So I don't know.
This is so cool. It's
cool technology. Yeah, the stuff they do. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend checking out the Disneyland Paris drone show. It's impressive. It's something I'd like to see in person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I like the idea of them doing something maybe before the fireworks start, because it's been a hot minute since the Magic Kingdom's had a nighttime parade or a nighttime show that wasn't fireworks, or that appetizer before Big Sky Go Boom.
Yeah.
Big Sky Go Boom.
We love it on a t-shirt.
We love it when Big Sky Go Boom. Yeah. Well, who knows what's going to happen with it at this point. It's probably still a little ways off before we see any kind of drone implementation in Orlando. But anytime we talk about this, it also makes me think about when they opened the new Fantasyland, which I think happened in 2014, and for the opening, and it may have only been for one night, they had a dragon fly over the Magic Kingdom, and it was a dragon drone.
Wait, what?
That blew fire and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's well. I guess that's similar to what they did when Galaxy's Edge opened. You remember, like it was either for the grand opening night or the first couple nights, they flew X-wings over Batuu.
Yeah. And I don't ever get to see this cool stuff, and then they don't keep doing it.
Dang it, Disney.
It's not fair.
Give me my dragon.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. Well, something to look forward to, and those are our Disney articles of the week. I want to remind people, by the way, we are moving into Flower and Garden, or as we call it around here, Flogar Festival at Epcot. And last week I introduced the Monorail Menu Challenge. So as we kick off Flower and Garden, if you go, I didn't say this specifically last week, so I want to be specific. If you go to the Flower and Garden Festival and you try one of the festival food items, because I think I just said if you post something you're eating. This is not a do it from home thing, people. I want you to post a picture of your food or drink item from Flower and Garden that you got at the festival. Give us a little review. And if you do that on Instagram or on Twitter and you do hashtag Monorail Menu and make sure you tag us at Morning Monorail, you're going to get entered for a chance to win a $50 gift card at the end of the Flower and Garden Festival. The other thing that we said was we're going to pick an item a week to be a featured item. And if you try it and post it on your timeline, you're going to get 2 entries that week for that one specific post. So we had a little huddle before the show started today, and we decided I don't think that there's any way that we could start with any other item on the Flower and Garden menu list other than the Fruit Loop milkshake. You got to do it. You got to do it. I mean, yes. Does it seem like it might be a little weird and gross? Possibly. We don't know.
That's part of the fun.
That's
just
part of the
your
fun.
Inner Figment.
Great sell job. Great sell job.
But see, you got to
sneeze. Figment fart. Figment.
You got to test it out. And yeah, sure. We've called it like, Figment milk. Like this could possibly be what you get if you were to milk a Figment. Absolutely. And maybe that's why we've picked it out.
Honestly, that's probably why Disney has put it on the menu.
Leave it to the Morning Monorail. It always circles back around to milking or eating the Disney character.
Correct.
We're hungry.
At least we're on brand.
We're frequently hungry. And so I also like the fact that this item is coming from the Brunch Cot booth because I am the self-proclaimed brunch baby. And I want you to get your brunch on, baby, and go to Brunch Cot. Get the Fruit Loop shake, post it, again, at Morning Monorail, tag us on Instagram, Twitter, hashtag Monorail Menu. That's all you got to do, and you'll get entered for a chance to win the $50 gift card. Just post a picture of your food item and give us a review of it. And if you think the Fruit Loop shake tastes like it could have been milked straight from a Figment, I want to know.
We're going to get so many weird responses.
I'm okay with it. We got to live our best life, and this is our best life, Landon.
By the way, this is a non-alcoholic option. Do you want to point that out?
Yeah. I figured that was best, really, because, I mean, maybe later if we do an alcoholic item, we should do a non-alcoholic item as well so people can participate.
Be inclusive?
Yeah, be inclusive, not leave anybody out. And this is going to be a sugar item, so that's, there's some people who maybe can't have that, or dairy. I would assume this is dairy. But
dairy, my fave.
Gives a lot of people gas. Take your Lactaid, everybody. Wow. I'm giving good advice.
Just a special bunch.
Don't forget your Lactaid. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to see what you all try. It doesn't have to be the Fruit Loop shake. You can try any item from the festival and post it, and you'll get an entry. And I'll round all those up, and we'll see who gets the big gift card once the festival's over.
Am I eligible to win said gift card?
No, you can't win. You're already getting rich off this podcast. You don't need a gift card.
I am? I need to talk to my money. Wait a minute, you're my money guy.
Yeah, the check's in the mail.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So looking around Central Florida, our other competing theme parks with Disney, we've got Universal and SeaWorld, of course. Stephers, I know this one was a couple weeks old, but I posted in our show notes a link to the Circus McGurkis Cafe Stupendous new menu review that Orlando Informer posted. And I know that we already talked about the Circus McGurkis reopening and the new menu, but I posted it because, specifically, as I looked at the pictures and read what they were saying about it, it looks like a lot of items that I actually kind of want to try at this little Universal Islands of Adventure eatery. So I didn't know. Well, first of all, if we didn't give it its proper due when you read about this previously, I apologize. But also, I didn't know, Stephers, if what was the menu there like before this? Was it just standard stuff? Was it like burgers and chicky nuggets?
It was pretty standard. There were some stuff. I want to say they had seasonal stuff that was more popular, but it wasn't permanent. So they've added that to their menus. The poke bowl, I think, is new.
Yeah.
I think the roast beef sandwich has Yeah, seasonal hula day special is now a permanent fixture. That's what I was saying.
Okay,
I was like, I knew something. So, like, the roast beast was something that was super popular, and then they made it permanent. I think they just realized, like, what people liked and what people were like, why would I eat this kind of thing? So, some good stuff. And I've had some creator friends that have been there, and they've actually tried the menu, and it's pretty good. I haven't eaten there, except for Buffalo Tots during the Orlando Informer meetup. So, can't really give you a good review.
Well, I think it's something that now, because I'm more aware of what the offerings are, and I've got I can see the pictures. That always makes a difference, because this stuff looks appetizing to me, and I'd love to get in there and try that pizza pasta. That looks pretty good.
I literally just scrolled by that.
Sounds and looks so good.
Yeah, I may even.
What is that cupcake?
Oh my gosh, the cupcake. Caramel popcorn cupcake. It looks like ice cream with caramel corn on top of it, but I guess that's icing in a little popcorn bucket. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool stuff. So it's supposed to be sort of like circus themed, but also Dr. Seuss and kind of whimsical, and man, I'm just telling you, this is a place that I want to try soon and come back with a review, because one thing I always say is sometimes I feel like it's hard to find like really good, like quick options at Universal, quick service that isn't just the standard stuff. And this is a little bit different, so I'm looking forward to trying it.
I'm going to fly down just to try it with you.
I think you should.
I also have another piece of Universal news.
Yes, ma'am.
The rumor mill is rumoring. Well, it's not really a rumor because I saw a guest actually post about it. Reign of Kong. Yeah. Skull Island, Reign of Kong. It looks like that they are phasing out the 3D element of this ride and making it 2D.
Really?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It looked like they were testing it or like running some tests, but I do believe that this ride will be phasing out the 3D glasses.
Oh, interesting.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So, just something to keep in mind while you're planning your trip.
Do you think that would be because it's more accessible, I guess, if you don't have the 3D element? Because people who may be vision impaired or wear glasses and stuff, it might be a challenge.
I will say it is a challenge to wear my glasses on that ride. However, I don't know how you get the full effect without it being in your face.
Yeah. Yeah,
it just turns into another screen ride at Universal with a very cool animatronic at the end. Yeah. Still.
Yeah, getting to see King Kong at the end is awesome. I don't think you don't wear goggles on the Fast and Furious ride, right? So it's going to be similar to that.
And much like Kong, you see a giant 30-foot Vin Diesel.
That's true.
Could you imagine? If I could, and I would scream, audibly scream.
Well, there are parts during that Fast and the Furious ride where he might as well be 30 feet. I mean, he grabs a helicopter from a car. So.
It really does. Yeah, Reign of Kong is actually one of my favorite rides in Islands. I don't know if 2D is the move. Also, this is like a testing thing, so it might not be a permanent thing. They might change their mind. I will say that they are testing a 2D version.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's just an interesting choice. I mean, there has to be a reason for it. Maybe the only thing I can come up with is maybe it's an accessibility thing, but who knows? It
also would be more sanitary in the long run because you don't have to clean the goggles every use. But who knows?
Okay. Well, thank you.
Steffers.
Thank you,
Steffers
Steffers.
Does not know.
Thank you, Steffers, for bringing the information, the breaking news, and sharing it. Is there anything else Universal-wise, or are we good to mention SeaWorld one more time?
Oh, we can mention SeaWorld one more time.
Okay. So the last thing I had today was just that this week there was a media event over at SeaWorld where people got to come in and get a little preview of the construction and what is complete on the new PengiunTrek coaster. It looks like there's still, just based on the pictures that are posted, they show the loading area for the ride and some of the interior. It looks like there's a lot to be done on the interior of this ride, but the track I think is complete now. So I guess they could start testing the ride vehicles, or snowmobiles as they're calling them for this ride.
I am waiting for my penguin popcorn bucket.
There's got to be. They got to do it.
They better. And then I will need a glorious, glorious Floridian friend to buy me this popcorn bucket so that I can have this penguin forever.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm excited for this ride. I mean, I haven't been to SeaWorld in who knows how long, but
it looks really cool.
It does.
And I like the fact that it's including an educational element to it as well, in addition to just being like a thrill ride. Though I love the fact that it's called a family-friendly launch coaster that goes 43 miles per hour. Screams family-friendly right there, doesn't it? And I mean, some of the twists and turns of the tracks, very family-friendly.
How fast is Slinky?
43 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure my mom would love that. Family-friendly.
Oh, Slinky Dog Dash goes 40. Because that's considered
not that fast, Landon.
That's considered a family coaster.
But looking at some of these twists and turns, Slink ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it looks like it's going to have some dynamic movement, but I'm excited. I mean, I think it's going to be. I always like it when they've got sort of these transitional coasters where you can take kids who are used to riding like the Grover coaster or whatever they have in Sesame Street Land, and you bring them and put them on something like this to test them out and see if they're ready for that next step.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
And the other
like that, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about it too is most of SeaWorld's coasters, if not all, have they're all thrill coasters. They have a high height requirement, so giving something for some smaller people to ride, it's a good thing.
Penguin-sized people.
Penguin-sized people.
That's me. I'm penguin-sized.
Stephers isn't allowed to ride half of the roller coasters at SeaWorld. She's too short. She has to wear platforms. Don't make that frowny face, Stephers.
I don't even own platforms, so
maybe you could borrow Ron DeSantis's platforms.
He's not using them anymore.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll pass.
Oh, that's a good place to wrap up the news for the day. Ron DeSantis's platforms. All right.
Boom, got him.
Roasted. All right,
got him roasted.
So we're going to take a little break here. On the other side, we're going to wrap up our Black History Month Spotlight series, and we're going to talk a little bit about the origins of Mardi Gras. Stick with us, and feet don't fail me now. Feet don't fail me now. Welcome back to the Monorail. Justin Monorail here with you alongside Stephers and Landon the Dawsdone. And we're wrapping up today's episode with our final, for this year anyway, Black History Month Spotlight. And this month, or this week, we're talking about the origins of Mardi Gras. So one of the things that I found as I was doing a little research was there was a blog that was posted, I think this was back in 2017. Yeah, February 25th of 2017 on the Discover Universal blog. Now, the only thing about this blog that I will say is I can't find the author. Oh, here it is. Okay, Jaslyn Ferguson was the author of this blog from 7 years ago. And part of this blog is talking about Black culture and its influence on experiences at the Universal parks. But the thing I wanted to focus on was really the Universal Mardi Gras piece of it, because I'll tell you, two of the things that I love the most at Universal Mardi Gras, the music and the food. I mean, that's like as big. Sure, do I love catching beads? Of course I love catching beads. Of course I love like everything that goes along with it. But like, I mean, I'm always stuffing my face full of beignets and Landon's probably not eating the crawfish, but I eat the crawfish.
No, not eating the crawfish.
I love eating the jambalaya, the etouffee. I love all that stuff so much. And then, the music is just like, I spend most of my time at Universal Mardi Gras just dancing around, embarrassing myself because I can't stop moving. But that music, you may know, you may not know, Zydeco is actually a genre that started in the hands of black musicians, using washboards and their voices to entertain their families. And like Zydeco music is so ingrained in Mardi Gras culture. And I mean, like, it's interesting to think that one of the things as I was reading about this and doing some research on some different things, I learned that actually even though we associate Mardi Gras with New Orleans and Louisiana, the first celebrations for Mardi Gras were in Alabama. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was news to me. That was brand new. And then eventually it moved over to Louisiana. But during the early days of Mardi Gras celebrations, we were still in America's history going through segregation. And so there were celebrations of Mardi Gras for white people, and then there were celebrations of Mardi Gras for black people. And a lot of the traditions, as segregation ended and the parties combined, the black traditions sort of like became the standards and the staples. And I mentioned the Zydeco music, I mentioned the food, but there's one thing that I learned about today that was another thing that was news to me. So Mardi Gras Indians. A popular theory suggests the tradition began in the late 1800s when black New Orleanians dressed as Native Americans to honor indigenous people who helped them escape slavery and survive in Louisiana wilderness. So that's a piece of like the costume work, and the part of the parade would be the Mardi Gras Indians. And that's where that tradition comes from. Another part of it was the flambeau carriers. As of 1857, enslaved black men and free men of color lit the way with torches. Today, black New Orleansians pay homage to these torch carriers. There's another thing, the skull gangs that roam early on Fat Tuesday. That was a part of the black Mardi Gras traditions. And the street party that takes place under a bridge on North Claiborne Avenue and later in the afternoon was a piece of their celebration as well. And then finally, the Crew of Zulu parade. The parade takes place on Mardi Gras and was another piece of that celebration. So as the two, as I mentioned, as segregation sort of ended and the two parties combined, now so much of the black traditions influenced the way that we celebrate Mardi Gras today. So just talking about Zydeco music, I always like to have like a particular person from history that we can talk about as part of these. So I pulled a Wikipedia page for a man named Clifton Cheney. It's spelled Chenier. I actually looked up the pronunciation because I wanted to say it right. I didn't want to embarrass myself.
That's not how I would have pronounced it. So yeah, I'm glad you looked it up.
Yeah. So Clifton Cheney, he was an American musician, lived from June 25th, 1925 to December 12th, 1987. And he was known as the pioneer of Zydeco, or actually the king of Zydeco, also billed as King of the South. A native of Leonville, Louisiana, he spoke Louisiana French as a first language. And a lot of people really credit Cheney as like the person who really started the tradition of Zydeco music. And I looked up, there's videos on YouTube you can watch him perform, and it's just this kind of music. It just, like I said, it just makes me want to get up and move. It makes me want to dance. Like I can't help myself. It gets in my body, and I want to move around. But Clifton Cheney, he sang and played the accordion, and he won a Grammy Award in 1983. So I do recommend, I'll post. So in the Facebook group last week, I posted all the links that we used for the show, and I'll do that again this week. But one of the things I'll do too is maybe I'll post a couple links to Cheney's performances. So if you want to see that and check that out, that'd be something you could do. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good to not just like celebrate the past, but like say these important names and remember them. Because I don't, as I have learned, as we've been doing this series over the last several weeks, there was not a huge effort to preserve Black history, when it comes to, music, art, performance, theme park, like all that sort of thing, development. And it's hard to find the resources. It's hard to find the information. You got to do a lot of work. And I'm glad that now that's not the case anymore. And I think we do a much better job of celebrating everyone's accomplishments, but it's just sad that some of this stuff, it gets buried. And like, I've learned so many things for the first time just in the last couple of weeks, trying to dig into history and find good stories to tell, that I'm like, I don't know why I didn't already know this, or somebody, it's not something that ever came up before. I took a history of rock and roll class in college. Why didn't we talk about Clifton Chenier? We talked about Little Richard and the debate of whether or not he should have been the king of rock and roll and not Elvis, but we did talk about that, but not Clifton Chenier. So anyways, yeah, check that out. And if you want to check out some of his music or see some of the links, make sure you join the Monday Morning Monorail fam Facebook group.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Nike.
So that's all I've got for today, unless anybody has any closing thoughts for today's episode, or any final thoughts on Black History Month as we wrap up. This is a long February. There's an extra day. We got a leap day. Yeah, don't forget Thursday, leap day.
Yeah, don't y'all be signing your checks March 1st a day early. That would be embarrassing.
It would be.
It took me this long to get 2024. People still do it, but it took me this long to write 2024. So now I gotta, we're gonna ignore the 29th, and I won't have to write a date down until the 1st of March.
Don't ignore the 29th. That's the day the new Final Fantasy VII drops.
Oh,
we've been waiting a long time for this one, Stephers.
Stephers is just going to sleep through the 29th. She doesn't believe in it. She doesn't want to experience it.
No, we don't celebrate February 29th in this household, young man.
I'm just going to forget, okay? I'm special.
Well, I think you're special, Stephers.
Thank you. Yeah. I am special.
I think Landon is special, and I think that all the members of the Monday Morning Monorail family are special. And if you're listening to this show right now, you are a member of the Monday Morning Monorail family. I know it sounds like a cult, but it's not. We're just
whether you like it or not.
We're just a big family. We like to pretend that we're a quasi cult.
Yeah. We're one of those fun cults you hear about on the news. Wait, no, generally, if you hear about a cult in the news, it's never fun. It always ends true. Okay, we're nothing like those cults that you hear about in the news, but we do fun. Okay, we don't do fun.
We have good hearts.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
We're not trying to get you to believe in a different kind of religion or take your money or get you involved in some sort of, other illicit activities. We just want to hang out with you and talk about theme parks. And
yeah, we do. We are trying to take their money. We've talked about making T-shirts several times during this episode.
Well, but we're giving them something in return in that case.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you want to interact with us and you want to be part of this whole thing, you can do that. But I will give the plugs for the show at the end. First, let's plug our individual stuff. Landon, it's good to have you back. I don't know if you've heard us try to attempt to sing your song over the last couple of weeks, but it hasn't gone real well. So I'm going to toss it over to you and
Hold on a second. It has gone so well. I am such a great wing woman for Landon.
You try.
All right, go ahead.
You do try. But we're going to let the man himself do it. Landon, take it away.
LANDOZ, please go follow me, Landon Doan. I'm the best, Landon Doan, not the rest. That's where you can follow me. 280 characters at a time on Twitter. I also will, again, be appearing on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI, radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available in the iHeartRadio app and the News Talk 987 app as well. I say appearing on the Phil Show again. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I'm going to see if I remember how to do my job. I've been having dreams about going back to work and forgetting how to do my job. So that's not instilled me with a little bit of worry, if I'm being completely honest. So, that'll be fun, but be sure and tune in for that if you want to. Hear me do this professionally? ? Yes, somebody does give me a paycheck for this, even if I do have brainworms. Don't drink the water in Orlando, Florida. You will get brainworms. Terrence is not where you stand. That's a person. I'm not sure what the Epcot nighttime show is now, honestly. And it is good to be back, y'all. I have missed doing this with you and Stephers. Jay, I've missed you, the lovely listener. You are my favorite member of the Monorail family. We have the best fans in the podcasting game. I truly believe that. The reason we keep doing this for now 190 damn episodes is because of y'all. The fact that you give us a second of your time, let alone now going on probably an hour and 15 minutes ish, means the world. So thank you from the bottom of my heart that you do this week in, week out. Y'all are the best. Love you. Mean it.
Wonderful. Stephers?
I can't top any of that.
And Brunch at Boathouse was really good too. I want to put that out there.
Boathouse is quality. No, you're fine. I can't top all the things that you just said. But you can also check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Adventures with Stephers. And if you cannot get enough of my beautiful voice, you can also listen to Adventures with Stephers podcast, or as Landon likes to call it, Avengers with Stephers. There are 2 new episodes out right now. One with Justin Monorail and the other one with Angela Dahlgren. So go check that out. And yeah, I'm still reading. I'm at 21 books for the year. So
that's the other reason. That's the other reason Stephers goes quiet sometimes on the podcast. She just starts reading her books.
Could you imagine? Don't think I can do that.
During this one podcast episode, Stephers actually read 2.5 Twilight books.
I did. Can confirm.
It's incredible. Hey, Stephers, question about the latest episode of Avengers with Stephers. Do you know how Angela's ice cream turned out?
I don't, but actually I can ask her.
Okay.
I know that a lot of people do make it with protein powder, so like I can't imagine it's bad, but I also made sure to tell her to like wait the full 24 before trying to blend it, because like I can't really say about the thickness, you know what I'm saying?
I do understand where she's coming from. 24 hours is a long time to wait. We are a society of instant gratification. We want it now.
Oh, 100%. I cannot. That's the one bad thing about having the Ninja Creamy is you make it all and you just want it done, but it doesn't. It's not. That's not how that works.
You have to wait.
I will ask her and let you know how that went.
Stephers.
Jeez, words are hard.
They are. Maybe you have brainworms too.
I did drink the water.
Oh no, Stephers.
Well, I drink the water every single day down here in Orlando.
Yeah, you're immune.
You turned out.
Okay, well.
I want to mention Terrence Howard is an American actor having his first major roles in the 1995 film Dead Presidents and Mr. Holland's Opus. That's a Terrence. That's a famous Terrence.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't he also the original Rhodey in Iron Man? I
don't know. That's it. Oh, yeah, you're right. He was.
Yes.
James Rhodey Rhodes in the first Iron Man film.
And then he looked at the War Machine suit and he said, "Next time." And Marvel's like, "No, actually, not next time."
Oh, that's sad.
Wah, wah. Yeah. Well, I am Justin Monorail. I drink Orlando water on a daily basis, and that explains why I am the way that I am, probably. Mm-hmm. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Justin_Monorail. And you can, if you want to, follow me on TikTok. I don't really post a lot, but I am on there. If you want to interact with us as a show, all of us, all at once, you can join the Monday Morning Monorail Fam Facebook group. We also have a Discord where we're chatting all the time. I posted some pictures, or at least one picture, from the Bare Naked Ladies concert at Universal last night. It was a great show. Had a really good time. And this time it was less crowded, and I'm hoping less COVID-y. That's my hope anyway. But I should be super immune right now, at least for like, a week or something. So, hang out with us on the socials. We are at Morning Monorail, and there's a website, morningmonorail.com. You can do all of those things. Whether or not you do that, we're going to have another episode for you next week right here on all your podcatchers. Tell your friends. Don't forget about the Monorail Menu Challenge. Also, while you're at it, if you happen to find yourself in the parks, make sure you thank the people that actually make the magic. Thank a cast member. Thank a team member. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.